Welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. I'm your presenter, Steve from America, and I've got Craig here from Anfield Agenda. How you doing, man? And I want to say thank you for coming on the channel. And if you don't mind me pointing out, we're both something that important I want to start off with. I'm on the spectrum. Obviously, I've got Asperger's, and Craig, on your channel, I think you've talked about it a little too. So I just want we're not special because of it, but I think it's awesome that people nowadays with social media and stuff, we have a platform to talk about our clubs and football, and it's awesome. And I hope that someone watching this who wants to be on these, but maybe has anxiety or something like that, can look to us as examples of like, hey, just because you have this doesn't mean it's a detriment. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. It's I have this phrase that I use that we're all effed up in our own unique way. Yeah. We all have our own foibles and quirks, but that's what makes us unique, isn't it? And that's what gives us the enjoyment. I wouldn't change it, man. Look, anxiety is a huge part of my life as well, but I wouldn't have got to meet so many amazing people on this journey if I didn't, speak about it. And I'm here talking to you because of it. So
yes,
how cool is that?
Yeah, exactly. So just wanted to point that out. I just thought it was pretty cool that we both have. I'm part of a huge channel, and you've done so much hard work and graft, and it's nice to see people that have Asperger's or depression or anxiety or anything else that you can't do it. Just got to put your mind to it. So just want to point that out. What's going on, Bobby?
Somebody's in my spot.
One second.
I'm live in my spot.
I'm live on YouTube. Hold on. One second. All right. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, it was just my uncle there. So let's see, what else do I have to go over? Any good comments yet? Nothing. Carl Hall from the channel. Good evening, all. Smash that like button, ladies and gents. We'll start off with that. You guys had a pretty good evening yesterday night against Villarreal. What did you think of the game? I was at work. I did it on my laptop, but I was too busy taking care of dogs and stuff to really have super opinionated on it. But from what I took, there were chances that you didn't take early in the game. But as the game, you just seemed to go another level.
Yeah, I kind of knew what to expect. Unai Emery sets his teams up really well. He's a very good coach, and it was always going to be a case of if we can nick an early goal, maybe the game stretches out a little bit, but we did manage to do that. And I said at halftime, I still think we win this game 2-0, but they're a difficult cookie to crack. It's no accident that they went to Turin, beat Juventus, that they knocked out Bayern Munich at the Allianz in Germany. They're a very, very good team, and it's actually a beautiful story, their run to the Champions League semi-final. They're from a city with a population of about 50,000 people, and I wish they were on the other side so I could root for them in the Champions League draw, if you get me, because obviously we want to knock them out and try and make our way to Paris. But difficult game, man, and I'm expecting as much difficulty over in Villarreal, although they probably will have to come out of the shell a little bit more because they now have 2-goal deficit to try and turn over.
Yeah, that was my takeaway from it. I thought that Villarreal could have some sort of magical run. It's going to be difficult for them to get to, not out of the equation. And then I watched your video, the review with Patty, and I forget the other gentleman's name, but you got Chris. Yes, Chris. And you guys were saying, like, if it was 3, it would have been probably done, or 4 or anything past that, you'd have your foot in Paris. But 2, was it a poor result? Only 2? That's what
yeah, it's tough, isn't it? You sound spoiled if you say 2 was a poor result, because it's not. 2-0 up in the Champions League semi-final. You would take it. If anyone offered me at the start of the season and said, Craig, Liverpool would be 2-0 up after the first leg of a Champions League semi-final, will you take it now? Of course I would. I'd have taken it in a heartbeat. So I think we just haven't been given credit for our run because of what is perceived an easy run, but like, we've beaten the champions of Italy, we've beaten the champions of Portugal. We had a really difficult group. It's not our fault that Bayern Munich couldn't beat Villarreal, because if we were playing Bayern now,
drawn against.
Yeah, if we were playing Bayern now, nobody would be talking about it being an easy semi-final. But yeah, look, it's just great times for us, man. And I'm around long enough to realize it won't last forever, so I'm just trying to enjoy it.
might not last forever, but you can at least probably count on 2026 under Klopp. That was signed, sealed, delivered today. Seems like so you guys will be in great shape theoretically with the way your club's being run and the excellent buy low, sell high, or buy low and they become world class. I mean, a lot of things are going right at Liverpool. So I'm definitely, it's going to be a challenge Saturday, but over some comments real quick. Afternoon, Steve, Ryan, what's going on from Canada? How are both of you? I'm great. Looking forward to lots of good secondary and third European competition, the Europa League and Conference League tonight. I think those will be good games. I know, Craig, on your channel, you'll do the West Ham Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, people keep asking me to do the United Chelsea game, but I don't care about the fourth place race. I want to concentrate on the European games. Yeah. And actually, I really would love West Ham to go all the way. I really would. It'd be such a great story for them.
It could benefit. I was reading the other day that if Newcastle finish 9th and Leicester win the Europa League and West Ham win Leicester win the Europa Conference League and West Ham win the Europa League, and certain teams have to go up and down in that top 8, we could potentially get in Europa Conference League, which is just baffles my mind. I mean, in January, we were bottom of the table, and if Eddie Howe can get us into a qualifying round of the Europa Conference League, that is, I have no words. I have no words.
Would you want to be in the Europa Conference League next season? Yeah. I would argue you're probably best missing out on Europe next season just to really make a push at the league, because I know only too well the distraction of a Thursday, Sunday schedule. It can be really difficult. And I would say you're probably best not being in Europe next season, Steve.
It's a nice problem to have, I guess, for us. It's a nice problem that we'll probably have a pretty decent transfer win, an amazing one. Compared to the years under Mike Ashley, it's going to be amazing compared to that. Even if we only signed 4 or 5 players, 3 out of those could be world class. You never know. So I'm just looking forward to looking up the table. Like next year, I don't want any relegation race, and it probably won't. So it's just great to have.
You definitely won't have a relegation battle.
Yeah,
no way.
Interesting question here from Tendedum. Is this Liverpool's most difficult match in the Premier League?
No. It's how do I put this?
It wasn't tough. This won't be tougher than Man City.
Of the two I'm more thinking of the games we have left. We've got Spurs to play as well, which is difficult. I would say this is probably, to me, this is the most difficult of our remaining games. I would say that.
Yeah.
None of us are taking this game lightly, not at all. 12:30 up in Newcastle, short turnaround from Wednesday, absolutely full of confidence Newcastle team that are second only to us in the form table since the new year. As you said earlier on, to go from relegation to 9th, that's phenomenal. So we're absolutely expecting a very, very difficult game.
Peter Robson would take European football. I would too, but if it doesn't happen, it's not a big deal. Just we survived. That's what matters. That's my take on it. Charlie Stewart, what does the Liverpool guy Craig think about Bruno Guimaraes?
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Is he the danger man? Is he the danger man on Saturday for you?
Well, I think you're getting to a point where you can say you have a few danger men now. I think that's a good argument to make.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alan Saint-Maximin is somebody that we all know about, but Bruno Guimaraes has been sensational, and he looks like he just has that bit of class, doesn't he? He has that aura around him, and I think you've got yourself a very, very good player there. And I think if you didn't sign him when you did, he probably would have gone elsewhere, and you'd have missed out on a great signing. But yeah, look, fantastic. Full credit to Eddie Howe and his team, and you guys for getting him in, because he looks legit. He looks like a very, very good footballer.
There's so many things I love about Bruno. I've been watching him for a few years now with Lyon, and the decision making is phenomenal. First touch, he's got. With Lyon, he didn't score many goals and assists necessarily. He was the setup guy, but under Eddie Howe, it seems like he's getting so much more out of him that he is the guy who gets assists and goals. So that is going to be one guy to look out for. So would that be your number one danger man to look out for?
No, I'm still going to stick with St. Maximin because he petrifies me. He's almost unstoppable in full flow. He is. There's something about that dude that just gets you on the edge of your seat. Even as an opposition fan, if you're in this, no matter who you support, you don't appreciate great players, you shouldn't be watching the sport. And he's a good player. He's the one that terrifies me. Like Bruno Guimaraes, I think we can maybe rein in, double mark, keep out of the game, but you won't keep St. Maximin out of the game.
For Thiago's tackling ability, that'll be important. I mean, Thiago all around, that's going to be my guy. I don't know if he's going to play on Saturday. He could, but
he will.
Yeah,
he will play. He get brought. He got. I think last night when we seen Trent and Thiago getting brought off, it was probably just Klopp trying to give them as much rest as possible before. This is again how seriously we're treating this game. There's no way that we don't go our strongest against Newcastle. We'll lose if we don't go our strongest. We're a very good team right now.
Absolutely. That midfield battle between Bruno and Joe Linton against Thiago and Fabinho, basically Brazilian midfield. And Thiago's Brazilian descent. Yeah, it's going to be the battle of Brazil on Saturday.
Thiago's an interesting one. Thiago is of Brazilian father, born in Italy, and raised in Spain with a Spanish passport. Look at that for a pedigree of football, by the way. Born in Italy, Brazilian international father, and playing in Spain. I mean, God almighty, could he have had any more help to be a footballer? Wow, that's unbelievable. I love that man, by the way. Love him to bits.
Oh, Thiago's amazing. Carl Hall from NFTV. Very happy that Craig didn't give in to the haters on social media. Oh, there are plenty of those. And continue to build a great channel. Craig, how has Luis Diaz transformed this Liverpool side? Would he make your preferred starting 11 Saturday, by the way?
He makes every preferred starting 11 from now until the time he leaves the football club. He's so good. Honestly, I was late to this. I didn't see, when we were linked with him, I didn't see it. I didn't see this. And when he came, there's very few players. Like I think it might be Luis Suarez, who the first time I seen him put on a Liverpool shirt and walk on the pitch, I knew I was watching something special. He's the same. Luis Diaz is, like, he's not the finished product, but he is so full of energy, so hard work. He's so easy to like and admire. And I think as football fans, we'll forgive a lot at times if we see effort, if we see somebody putting in 100%. He's one of these guys that does it. He tracks back, he helps out Robbo. And I often speak about relationships around the pitch, and the relationship he's building up with Andy Roberts and Thiago on the left is remarkable. It's a brilliant piece of business.
That side both of your sides are pretty tasty, but especially that, like you said, the chemistry just all around, it's flowing and it's like top notch. Are you worried at all that maybe are you hitting your peak at the right time or at the wrong time? Or do you think you still have a way to go with Liverpool in terms of performances?
As in this season or
yeah.
I think it's no accident that we're starting to look our best when Thiago starts to look his best. I mean, I've said since we signed him, I don't care if he doesn't play a single game the first half of the season. When it gets to the business end, break glass, bring out Thiago and let him do his thing, because that's why you signed him. You know, he is an exceptional footballer, and I think if he stays fit, we're going to take some stopping this season.
I was talking with one of my Newcastle friends, Andy, about Luis Diaz, and me and him watched him a little bit for Porto, and when he went to Liverpool, me and him have kind of agreed that he could win a PFA Player of the Year type potential with him. Do you see that too? Do you think he could be a top 3 or the best player in the league in the coming years?
I mean, I don't want to lump that much pressure on his shoulders already, but
right. No, and I'm not trying to either. I'm just the eye test is everything for me. And
he has the potential to be special. Yeah, and I think he certainly has the work ethic, which impresses me as well. You know, he seems like somebody who wants to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would be your preferred starting 11, by the way?
For the weekend?
Saturday?
Yeah. Exactly as we lined up last night, to be honest with you. Trent at right back, Robbo at left back. Canade, I think, because he has that recovery pace alongside Van Dijk. Fabinho, I'd like our captain to play, Jordan Henderson. Some people might think Keita, but I want Hendo to play in this game because I think we need his legs. And Thiago, of course, and then Diaz left, Mane centre, Salah right, and then still have Jota on the bench. And we've got great options now, so yeah, I'm. It's very difficult to make an argument to change the 11 when they're playing so well, even though they do.
And especially that they don't look tired. That's the other thing. Or they don't look like they're gonna have a mistake or they need a rest. None of your guys right now look like they need a rest. So you play them. That's that. Yeah, I would agree with that. Joe Stewart, score predictions. I'm gonna go for 3-1 Liverpool. To be fair, what are you going?
I think it'll be tight. I think
it'll be tight too, but I think you will. I could see it being 2-1, 85th minute. You bring on a sub, and something clicks, and you get the third. That would be mine.
I think 2-1 Liverpool. Potential of a 2-2. These half-time kickoffs make me very nervous. Always have, very nervous. They tend to throw up mad results at times.
Yeah, and especially that Klopp doesn't love them. He's never a fan of the 12:30 kickoffs. Yeah, it could be.
I understood why they didn't ditch that 12:30 slot and make a 7:45 or 8 p.m. Saturday slot instead. Yeah.
That would make sense. That's what I mean. Bundesliga, I've seen a few Leipzig games or Dortmund games where it's later in the day for them because they were just in Europe. So yeah,
I think from what I can gather, I think the 12:30 slot is aimed at the Asian market. I think
and America because that's 7:30 a.m. here.
Who wants to even be alive at 7:30 a.m.?
I get up at 6, dude, on Saturdays.
I'm still awake.
And I watch football. Yeah, I love it. I love the 7:30 kickoff. Gives me an excuse to hit the drinks. I mean, in America, we've got bars open in California where it's 3 hours behind me. A 4:30 kickoff. They open the bar at 4 a.m. for Premier League clubs, fans to gather, and all that. So
that wouldn't end up working out well in Ireland. I can trust me.
The UK,
early, it wouldn't be pretty.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, early kickoffs are for Asia. That makes sense. What's another good question for you?
How do you expect to line up, actually? Because if I would suggest to you that one position I'd like to see Newcastle strengthen, it's the goalkeeping position.
I would agree with that too. And I'm not sure who I want to bring in. I'm not sure who I would want to bring in at goalkeeper. Maybe Dmitrievski at Rayo Vallecano because he's decent age-wise, and I think he's done well for them. Maybe even, and it's going to sound shocking, but like, I think that like maybe Zach Steffen at Man City because I'm obviously an American fan. And I watch him play for the national team. I've got lots of experience watching him. I think when he needs to get some game time under his belt, and then you won't have those silly mistakes but in the FA Cup semifinal where he just took way too long on the ball. I think if he got to a club, maybe not even Newcastle, maybe even a mid-table club, because the USA has always produced pretty good goalkeepers. Brad Friedel, Tim Howard, and they're all at like mid-table kind of clubs in the Prem, and they've done a good job. So I think that Steffen could be that. He just probably needs to make that move.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't rate the goalkeepers at Newcastle at the minute. I think that's the next spot for me.
Liverpool's second keeper's got Kelleher. Kelleher is going to be top class.
No, I'm biased on that clearly because he's Irish, and I'm going to tell you he's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, exactly. Craig, Steve has 6 screens at once watching games. He's obsessed. Yes, I do. I have lots of screens.
I couldn't focus with that. Wow, fair play. I get confused with my own screens doing a stream just with too many things going on.
Yeah. If you're gonna ask me about my preferred starting 11, I need to find out if Trippier's back, because if Trippier's back, that'd be great. Slot him in. But having said that, I would go for Emil Kraft. I go Dubravka, Emil Kraft. I think pretty much from the last game, I would have Chris Wood as the striker instead of Joe Linton. We'll put Joe Linton in that midfield 3 with Bruno, Joe Linton, and Willock, maybe Shelvey. I'd probably say Willock just because I thought he did really well, especially with Target, like the B-Tech version of Robertson and Thiago, but they did have good chemistry against Norwich. I mean, it is Norwich, but yeah, I would say starting 11 for me would be Dubravka, Kraft, Fabian Schär on the right. Always got to look out for his long balls. He can produce something every once in a while. Dan Burn, Target on the left. Let's say midfield 3 of Joelinton, Bruno Guimaraes, Willock, then a front 3. Depends if Ryan Fraser is healthy, but if not, I would put Miggy in there at the right, striker Wood and ASM on the left. That would be for me my preferred 11.
Actually, I'm interested in Miguel Almiron because I watched him playing in the MLS, and when he moved to Newcastle, I thought he was going to have a bigger impact than he had because he's got all the tools to succeed. He just doesn't seem to have had that goal scoring run or that break, a bit of luck maybe, but yeah, when I watched them in the MLS, I was very impressed with Miguel Almiron.
Yeah, excellent. I think one big difference that Miggy had at Atlanta and at Newcastle is he had an incredible connection with Joseph Martinez at Atlanta. That was his thing. Those two guys would be responsible for 40% of their offense. I just don't think he's had someone like a Joseph Martinez, someone pacey and prolific to partner with. I think that's been one of his things, especially when he plays for Paraguay too. He plays under a striker, and he's man of the match consistently in CONMEBOL. So that could be also part of it. Almiron was bruised. Yeah, but Steve Bruce. Yeah, that pretty much. Shelvey's playing some of the best football of his best football at Newcastle. Are you surprised Craig he hasn't kicked on since leaving Liverpool?
100%. I mean, he has all the attributes to be a top-notch midfield player. Sometimes it's been his temperament that lets him down. You know, he can get a little bit feisty at times, Jonjo, but unquestionable ability. Unquestionable.
Yeah. Probably work rate, too, isn't his greatest asset. And probably maybe the athleticism to a certain point. Sometimes he looks a bit lanky, but he's a good player on his day. I like Shelvey. He was some of the form he had under Steve Bruce, though. Really, it was poor. But Bruce, everyone struggled under Steve Bruce. Miggy seems like he could form a partnership with Bruno. I agree with that. And I think another thing I love about Bruno is that it seems like everyone around him got elevated up a level. It's like not with Jordan and the Bulls, but as an example, when he played, everyone else elevated their level, or LeBron or Brady, or at Liverpool, who's a player when you brought him in? Let's say maybe Klopp's first year, Van Dijk. Yeah, that's a perfect example of someone that a world-class player comes in for a big fee. Everyone's performance seems to go up. You have that aura about you in the locker room chemistry.
I read something actually on Ronaldo at United that said, so they always have a treat day on a Friday, I think it is, in the United training ground. And so usually players go in, they'd have a sweet, an apple crumble, something like that. But Ronaldo didn't go near it when he went in. He stayed on the healthy stuff, and nobody else was brave enough to go near, just because of the impact that Ronaldo was having and the professionalism that he was bringing. Right.
Do you think Jonjo Shelvey will have an impact against his former side? He seems to step it up a bit versus Liverpool. Do you think that's true? He steps it up, it seems like, a little bit when he plays Liverpool to prove a point or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he feels he has a point to prove, or I mean, it happens. Old players coming back to haunt you. It happens time and time again, but he just didn't do it at Liverpool enough, to be fair. I mean, he had the opportunity to learn from Steven Gerrard at one point, and if that doesn't push you on and inspire you, I don't know if anything will.
That's true. You can't get bigger than Gerrard, to be fair. Do you know if VAR will have a big part on this game on Saturday? Will there be a big? I'll just answer yes or no. Will VAR have a part to play on Saturday? Either just for Newcastle's benefit or yours, it doesn't matter. Will VAR have a big decision to make, you think?
I would.
Or will the ref?
I'd answer that question if I knew who was on VAR, because I think we all as football fans have our own officials that we think make suggestible calls for or against our team, and like we don't like Paul Tierney on VAR as an example at Liverpool. We that worries us if he's there. So
I think Mike Dean is Mike Dean.
Oh God, there's a red card somewhere. Then Mike Dean loves to flag a red card incident, doesn't he? So I don't know. I just in any games, I don't like the talk afterwards to be about officiating or the rules. I'd like it to be about a moment of magic, or hopefully it's resolved on the pitch and we don't have to have a VAR incident because let's be honest, it just gives us all a headache. Really, we want to see the players excel and we want to see it resolved on the pitch.
Right. Is Klopp a moaner, Craig, talking about TV fixtures here, or does he have a point?
A bit of both, to be honest with you. Of course, you're gonna fight your side, and you're going to look at the narrative from the way you want it to be explored. But I think if you look back through time, Solskjaer, Pep Guardiola, Arteta, many managers have spoken about this, and I think this is why we've got the 5 substitution rule coming in next season. I think that this is the payoff for the managers. They get to rotate players more, they get to rest players more. And but look, he does have a point, as do the other managers, because as an example, look at other leagues around Europe. Often when their clubs have a big semi-final and stuff, they clear the fixtures for a week for them to make sure that they're fit and primed and ready to go. Whereas what we've had is a Champions League semi-final on a Wednesday and then a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. That just does, it boggles the mind. It does at times. So yes, he's a moaner, but don't we all fight our own corner at times? So
no, good point. To me personally, I've never really. Yes, players play a lot of games, but at the end of the day, they do have at the top level and top 5 leagues and even leagues below that, they have top class medical people looking after you.
On Charlie Stewart's comment there,
Mike Dean is a season ticket holder. I have no idea. It's probably a rumor.
He's a season ticket holder of Tranmere's daughter is a Liverpool fan.
Right. And that happens. I've talked to many people. That's nothing new, where your dad is a different supporter. Sometimes it's where, I support my dad's team. But some people break off, don't support the same team. I don't really care. As long as Mike Dean makes the correct decisions for both sides, that's what I want. I want to win fairly, and I want to lose fairly. That's my thing.
Well, we do have some news actually.
Yes,
some news on refereeing appointments and stuff. Where has it gone?
Ooh.
So Martin Atkinson is retiring at the end of the season. That was announced today, and there was another referee. I can't remember. Oh, John Moss. He's retiring at the end of the season, and Mike Dean was gone at the end of the season. He's going to be full-time VAR. So at least we won't have to deal with Martin Atkinson and John Moss anymore, because how somebody gave John Moss a professional license to run around the football pitch. Sorry, I said that wrong. To run around the middle third of a football pitch, because that's all he does, is beyond me. So that was good news for me today, because I hate Atkinson.
I think most Premier League refs are rubbish, to be fair. I can't think of a really good one. I think they need to start looking abroad. We had one game this year versus Wolves where we had a guy from Australia come in, and I think that was the first ever top flight English game in history with a foreign ref. So that was nice.
It would benefit. Like, let's say you had this panel of referees that referee the top 5 European leagues, and they rotate around the leagues. I think it would help in European action as well, because then the players would be used to different refereeing styles and what some referees would constitute as a yellow or what some referees let away. So I think it would remove those biases as well that we have. And look, what Charlie said, Mike Dean could have a bias towards Liverpool just because of the fact that he's from that area. And I don't like when a Scouse referee is refereeing a Liverpool game. I don't like when Greater Manchester referees are refereeing a Manchester game. I don't want Clattenburg, Mark Clattenburg, who used to ref. He's a Northeast guy. So you wouldn't want him reffing a Newcastle match or something like that. He was a good referee, actually, Mark.
He was.
I think of the current bunch, Matthew Taylor's okay, but I think Michael Oliver's probably the best of the current bunch.
Yeah, I agree with that. Joey Tune for life. Premier League don't look after clubs in Europe. Yeah, I'd agree with that to a certain extent.
Which is great because they're hurting their own product, which I don't understand. Premier League clubs are flying high in Europe. It looks good. The brand is the value of the brand gets pushed up. So
if we get 9 teams in Europe next year in the Prem, which is conceivably possible. A lot has to happen in that top 8, and Leicester have to win the Conference League, and West Ham have to win the Europa League. 9 teams in Europe. That's a great marketing chance. You're right. And
the fixture congestion will be crazy if that happens, because it's already a shortened season because of the World Cup.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how they handle that. Michael Oliver sports Newcastle, hence he never refs our games, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for everyone involved. But yeah, we'll wrap it up around here. But I'll go over a few more comments. Carl Hall, without getting too political, I just think that's the unfortunate arrogance of this country. Possibly. I'm not English, so I don't really. I mean, I think everyone running a country is arrogant, but hey ho.
I wouldn't mind a shot at running a country. It would be fun.
Yeah.
I think any of us, if we got power like that, would be a little bit arrogant, wouldn't we? And I think you also need that type of arrogance to be that front and center of stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. So we'll wrap it up here, but first I wanted to mention the OneFootball app as our sponsor, and it's also a sponsor of your channel, I believe, Craig.
Absolutely, yes. I love giving the OneFootball app a plug.
So it works for everyone. So here's a quick vid from that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. We are pausing the video there to tell you about our sponsors today, who are OneFootball. OneFootball is the best app out there. It really is. We use it when we're at the games. We use it also when we're on live streams because it has up-to-date pings. Tells you when Newcastle have scored. Tells you about incidents during the game. And it also, you can check the app for all the stats about the games. But even better, you know what it's like over the summer. It's going to be ram-packed with transfer rumours. OneFootball puts all of the articles across the web into one place for you. Download it. It's free. The link is in the description.
And thanks to OneFootball for sponsoring us. And in the U.S., actually, I don't know if it's the same case in Europe, but I get to watch games from Czech Republic, Slovakia, I'm trying to think, Estonia has a few games. So OneFootball app, it's a very well-rounded app, and it's free streaming of these games, free info. It's a great app. It really is.
So, and what I love as well is the great supporters of football fan content, which allows all of us to do what we do.
Exactly. When you come to the UK to watch Newcastle play, Steve, hopefully next year. But flights are interesting at the time, and I'm not vaccinated yet. Probably won't, but I don't know. I'll figure that out next year. But definitely would love to come see Newcastle play. But thanks everyone for watching. We had 120, I believe, at one point. So tremendous support, and I'm sure a few of the guys in the Anfield Agenda Discord were on with a comment or two. So thanks a bunch for everyone's support. It means a lot. And thank you, Craig, again. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
It was awesome. So thanks a bunch, guys. Take care. And we'll see you on Saturday.